Stephanie Vane, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be me talking about guilty reads and actually favorite books in general. Like, I like a lot of books, but I love like very few, but I do have two categories in which those books go into. Guilty reads, which to me is just pure entertainment. I don't really, there's no like life lessons for me there, or there's nothing that I can take with me, after the book, other than I really enjoyed it. I loved the adventure, or whatever happened, I was totally in love with it. But it's not one of those that once I'm done reading, I'm just like, oh my god, I need more, I want more type thing, And then I have my favorite books, which like touch my heart, and they like usually tear up like just everything. Is a hot mess after those books. So today's video is specifically going to be about my favorite guilty reads. I've talked about some of these books in the past. I may have already shown this in my favorite supernatural books, but these books are going to be my like absolute favorite when it comes to guilty reads, not just within a genre. These are just like my favorite guilty reads. I really enjoyed these when I read them, and it's just, oh, they were pretty awesome to me, of course. But I have three honorable mentions because I've talked about these books plenty of times and I really don't want to keep dragging your ear about them. The first is always going to be Twilight. I love Twilight. I love that it made me want to read more, and I just enjoy that series so much, and I do reread the first one quite a bit. I love anything by L.J Smith. I love L.J Smith. I love her books. I think that they're fun, they're exciting, and I really just love her writing style. It's something I like, but I talk a lot about Vampire Diaries and Secret Circle and The Night World, so I'm not going to talk about that. And the last one is V.C Andrews. Now, V.C Andrews goes on actually both this video, and I'll mention her again in my favorites video, because V.C Andrews has some books where they're more like for entertainment, and then there's other books where they actually like I learned something and I like just feel so afterwards. But those are the honorable mentions, and now I'm going to go into my little pack that I have here. Now, all of these books, I don't rate one over the other. I don't have like a number one, number two, number three. I may have like, out of all of these, my absolute favorite, but I don't have in any order. I don't love one more than the other. I love each of these books for different reasons, but at the end of the day, it's all for the same, because it's guilty and it's just for entertainment. The first one I have actually talked about, and it is the Kissed by an Angel series. I really love, I've talked about this too, the first three books. This bind up right here is my absolute favorite. I've reread this so many times. I really enjoy it. I love, Tristan and Evie, and I love their love story, and I just love everything about this book. I thought it was so good, and even the rest of the series is still really good. Kind of like one of those like bittersweet endings, kind of, sorta. Sorry, I was looking at my bookshelf. But I really enjoy this, and it's just about a girl who believes in angels, whose mother, marries someone, and now she has a stepfather and a stepbrother, and things go really bad, and her boyfriend becomes an angel. But there's so many other things behind that, and it's kind of like mystery, paranormal mystery, so really like this. So good. Just, I love it. Next is one that a lot of people have a lot of things to say about, and I have talked about this in the past when I first read it, and that is 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. What can I say? I really liked 50 Shades of Grey. I liked the first book a little bit more than the second, but I still love the both of them. I haven't read the last one yet. I don't want it to be over, but this was like total guilty pleasure. Like, there's really not a whole lot behind it other than the fact that it's an erotic relationship and we just get to read about it. But I love Grey, and I don't think it's super like abusive. It's a sex choice style type thing that people like, so that's them. But I really like this, and let's just say, like, when I was reading this, I was just so happy. But anyway, obviously it's for mature audiences only. The next one, I don't know if it would be surprised that it's a guilty read, but I categorize this as a guilty read, and that would be The Mortal Instruments series as a whole. I enjoy those books so much. I devoured them. They're such fast reads. They're really enjoyable. The adventure, everything that happens, it's just so like, oh, so good. But it's a guilty pleasure because there's a lot of... I feel like I really like the last two books more. Sorry, I'm just like all over the place. I really like the last two books more than the first few because those do have more substance. They have more choices, really deep choices that need to be made and whatnot. But as a whole, it's more for entertainment for me, and I didn't see it as a whole lot more than that. Only a little bit in the end, the last two. But I love this series. Cassandra Clare has amazing handwriting. But if you guys don't know what the series is about, I mean, you probably do. It's just about a girl named Clary who is a part of a world where she didn't realize she was a part of it, where vampires and witches, warlocks, whatever you want to call them, and shadow hunters and demons exist, and she's, you know, one of those people that helps get rid of demons. So it's really, really fun. I actually really like the first book. Not a lot of people do. I've heard, you know, I don't know about everyone, but they're really fast reads, and yeah, I can't wait to get on with the Infernal Devices, but I'm kind of like in a different fantasy mode lately. Not for this. The next series I have for guilty reads would be Divergent, because I love Divergent, but there's a lot with this book that kind of, it was just entertainment. I read it really fast and then I was kind of like over it. I felt like for this type of world, usually for dystopians for me, I look for a lot of like government plotting and all these crazy messed up things, and that just make you realize stuff. And even though it did have some of that, it lost it with Insurgent and Allegiant. And if not, it probably would have been like a favorite. But the more I think about this book, it just, to me, it doesn't belong on my like favorites list there. But anyway, I really enjoy these. They're fast. They're fun to read. Divergent's my absolute favorite of the three. And it's just about a girl named Triss who lives in a world where they are divided by factions, pretty much by personality traits. If you're really smart, you go in one group. If you're brave and fearless, you go in another. And that's how they've kept the community at peace all these years from the war. But they have a group of people called Divergents where they feel, or they have, you know, more than just one outstanding personality trait. They kind of encompass all of them at varying degrees or levels. And it's just really good. And I really like it. And I recommend it if you haven't read it. And I personally like the movies a little bit more, especially Insurgent. I am so curious to see where that's going to go because I finally saw it. The next one was just a lot of fun. I read this for a booktubeathon last year, and that is the Chain Letter Duology, which is Chain Letter and The Ancient Evil by Christopher Pike. I have to say, I really like the first book more than the second, but I really enjoyed this. Like, I will definitely be rereading this. I mean, it's really short in general, so I'll reread this entire thing, not just one book or the other. But it's kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer, but in book form, and it's good. I enjoyed it a lot. It kind of got me creeped out the first book more than the second, but I enjoyed it. I loved it, and yeah, it's just, you know, I want to read more. I think what I really liked about this was the writing style. I liked Christopher Pike's writing style. This is the only book I've ever read from him, so I definitely want to give it a try and read more from this author. And a new guilty pleasure favorite is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. I thought this was so much fun. At first the characters were kind of like flattish, but they rounded out more towards the end of the book. But it's about a girl who becomes an assassin because she's Death's like handmaiden. Is that what they call them? I don't remember. But yeah, her father, she was sired by Death himself. So it's really cool. The premise of it's really fun. I like the romance in it. And it's so fast. My God, this was just like done. I can't wait to pick up the next book. Also because I just really like these floppy paperbacks. They're just so nice. Those are my favorite guilty pleasures right now. Some of these will always be there, and sometimes some of them will change after time. But those are the books that I love that are like guilty pleasures for me. You guys already know I mentioned my favorites in the beginning. But yeah, the next video will definitely be me talking about my favorite books. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.